Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Monday night. I wish I was recording this a little bit earlier. I had some technical difficulties. Oh dear. Um, yeah, so here I am. I hope my voice is being recorded this go around. Okay, yeah, it's great to be with you. I was just kind of thinking about how it was going to be weird not to have a class tonight, not to have a meeting with everyone here. And I was realizing how I feel connected to everyone in the group and was just appreciating that today as I was driving, and I was just realizing like, wow, I feel connected to this group. And so I just wanted to share that, and I hope that everyone is doing well and enjoying this week, probably a holiday week for many or all of you. So I hope that you're having a good time. And let's see, I just wanted to make a video, kind of a short-ish video to introduce the homework for this week, which is meant to be mostly just like getting accustomed with the TriplexME Toolbox and the TriplexME daily method. Several weeks ago, I introduced TriplexWE. I did like a video on that, and I'm not sure if everyone got a chance to watch it, but what I'm introducing today is TriplexME. So TriplexME is meant to be an individual version of this the triplex way of triplex style of kind of like tracking one's personal growth process, or in the case of TriplexWE, it would be a style of tracking a group's growth process. So let's see, yeah, so what I did is I went ahead and created two different ways of accessing the TriplexME Toolbox. There is a digital version, and then there is a paper version. The paper version is available as a PDF, so it's kind of digital right now, but you can print it out. And so for this week's homework, if you have time, I was just hoping that you would be able to kind of just take a look at the TriplexME Toolbox, either the digital form, which is offered as a OneNote notebook, or to print it out, or to just read the PDF. And what you're going to find is that this toolbox is it's kind of a flavor of a way of journaling about your experience. And it's okay if you don't get to all of it, or I'm not expecting you to start using it or anything like that. Of course, if you want to and you get it, cool. But I just wanted to get it out there so that you would start getting a little bit accustomed to it. As the weeks progress, there are a couple of exercises that are that are included in the TriplexME Toolbox. So I might either just have you use the workbook for those exercises or something like that. Anyway, just getting you accustomed to this. And I think too, I want to interject here that you know, what I'm offering with this TriplexME Toolbox, it's a OneNote notebook, and it's right now on paper. There's a part of me that kind of envisioned that it would be really cool if there was a possibility to actually develop it into its own software product, to make an app that had this TriplexME the tools all in this toolbox, and make it really slick and really cool, and then also be able to interface with the TriplexWE community in some way. Like we're going to start to see how some of the things that I track in the TriplexME Toolbox are things like recurring opportunities. And recurring opportunities are something that we might want to share with other people. And same thing with the Insight Hearth, you know, this idea of being able to share, or I created this thing, I called it Celebrate Bones, which I put in TriplexWE. But yeah, I could just kind of if you look at it, if you kind of look at it a little bit also from the perspective, not only for your personal growth, but just remember that, oh, Becca was kind of a little bit envisioning something possibly as some sort of, software startup or software venture that could possibly um, somehow dovetail with the Triplex or Blue Jewel School thing. So just throwing that out there. So the other thing that is introduced as a part of the TriplexME is this thing I call the daily method. And I've been introducing aspects of the daily method already in the meetings that we've been doing together, because I've been introducing this idea of the inner trainer and developing a practice of developing the inner trainer's skills of awareness and intention. So what I'm calling the TriplexME Toolbox or the TriplexME Daily Method, it's kind of it's a series of steps that a person could follow to actually have a practice. So it's kind of an example of a practice. And I went ahead and wrote up a handbook that goes through a bit more in detail about the TriplexME Daily Method. So if you'd like to read it or start scanning it, or just poke around, take a quick look, that is available as well. So you're going to see in the materials folder, there's a new folder in there that's called the TriplexME Toolbox. And you're going to see the zip folder, which contains the OneNote file. You're going to see a link to a file that will help you import the Microsoft OneNote file if you decide that you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, you can just access the PDF workbook and read through that. It contains the same text that is inside the OneNote file, so you can just read it in the PDF. And then there's also the handbook for the daily method. And yeah, that would be something that if you want to go ahead and kind of browse or even read that, that would be another thing that you could do this week. So that is kind of the homework. Just start getting acquainted with some of the TriplexME Toolbox tools and things like that. I think I have another video that I'm going to try to put together that gives a little tour of the TriplexME Toolbox, and also a quick video that might help you to import the file if you decide to do that in OneNote. Editing more videos. Whew, I hope I can get through it and get the email out here. I think that is mostly what I was hoping to say. Like, that's what I'd like to encourage you to do, kind of as a new part of the homework. There is more I'd like to say, which is to encourage you to just continue with the aspects of the homework that we were currently working on. So at this point, there was a body issue that maybe you had chosen a couple weeks ago that you were going to be trying a practice and kind of going through a learning loop. And so if you're still working on that, I just encourage you to keep working on that. I know I'm still working on mine, and maybe next week we'll have a check-in if anyone wants to share how they're doing with that. But so there's a body issue that you can be doing an actual practice on as a part of your ongoing homework. And then there's also the ongoing homework of kind of like, since we were working on that recommitment statement, actually using your recommitment statement and actually in that regard doing your daily practice. So that is something that you can be continuing to work on as a part of just your practice, your daily life. And last week's homework was to finish up doing the other two either inner critic, outer critic, or inner trainer activities that we had started in class. So that's something, if you hadn't gotten to it already, you could go ahead, if you want to, go ahead and work on those. Next week, what I imagine we will get into is doing a little bit more processing on the critic portion of the activity, and I'm just going to be introducing a little some discussion questions that we can do in class related to the critic to kind of just deepen that some more. And depending on how timing goes, I haven't worked this out yet, but I think what I'd like to do is kind of give a taste of the TriplexME Toolbox daily method right during class. So that's where, oh, I guess the other thing, okay, we're at 10 minutes right now. I just want to share something about this toolbox. The toolbox is a set of, what it was is like, I think I mentioned this before in maybe another video, that this came about during a time in my life when I was really stressed and experiencing a prolonged panic attack. And at some point I started doing the this awareness practice, or actually slashing thoughts, and just really focusing on my sensory awareness in my daily life. And when I did that, I was able to come out of this panic attack and actually start seeing life in a different way. And it was a really profound experience for me. And part of what I was noticing with my awareness was what I was doing. And I ended up kind of codifying it in this TriplexME toolbox, and I've come up, with the different names for the different qualities that I was tracking, so that I could try to explain it to others. Maybe it is something that might be useful to you or useful to other people, and so that's why I am sharing it. For me, my experience with it is I still use it to this day. I find it to be really helpful to have all of my kind of personal growth work in one location. Previously, I had different like written notebooks or papers of this, that, or the other, and they were spread, who knows where. Basically, I was not able to find anything if I actually wanted to find it. So when I started using the TriplexME toolbox, I had the advantage of, number one, like a mobile app that I could actually make logs directly into my toolbox when I was out and about during the day if I wanted to. That was cool. I could look up things if I needed to. That was cool. And since it's a software app, I could search it. It has a search feature, and you can search everything really easily. So I think that was really helpful too. And it has like the ability to take photographs and just embed it right in there. And that was great because if I did artwork, I could take photos of it. And so what it allowed me to do, having everything centralized like that, and then getting into a flow of setting up a recurring time to actually review what I was putting in to this toolbox, it really helped me to see myself better and see what I was struggling with, helped me to kind of connect some dots in terms of what was leading to that, and then also with the opportunities and the resources, it really helped to kind of pattern or somehow seed my being to be on the lookout for what it was that I needed, and to help me to be able to see what direction my life was headed. So this is the tool, and if you have a chance this week to start taking a look at it, that's great. I also understand if it's a holiday week and you have many other very much higher priorities, that's totally fine too. All right, I hope that is everything that I wanted to share now at this point. Okay, take care everyone. See you soon. Bye now.